So now we are all set and we have a kind of our basis and we are ready to start building out our visuals. We want to take this data. I've got everything I'm looking at in here, and I want to start really leveraging Power BI to say, how can I look at this in a picture format? How can I use those visuals to show me what's going on in the business? Where are my business units that are good on revenue? Where are the ones that might be struggling? So what we're going to do now is we're going to start creating those pictures. So give yourself some room here. I'm going to resize my visual, shrink it up so it takes about half the page, and we're going to create a new visual. This time what we're going to create is we're going to create a visual called a waterfall. The waterfall chart is really a great way to look at variances and analyze the variances, look at what is the difference kind of on the whole and how did we get there. So for our waterfall chart, we're going to go ahead and just click in that white space and we're going to start defining the visual again from top to bottom. So in the visualizations pane, let's go ahead and click the waterfall option. Oh, mine placed it kind of towards the bottom, so I'm just going to move it back up. And I've got my visual. Now, what do I want to see? So for this, we're going to go ahead and analyze that data, just like we did at the very beginning. So our dimensions are going to be, we're going to start with region, then we'll go to division, and then we'll go look at the actual business unit itself. Okay, so we're going to build in that hierarchy. So let's go ahead and navigate over in the data field. Well, let's go up to the business unit table, and let's add those 3 levels. So again, we're going to start with region. So I'm going to go find region, and I'm just going to check the box, and notice it puts it right there in the category field well at the top. Then I'm going to check the box for division, and it did not add it where I want it to go, so I'm just going to drag it right up. Or you could do a drag and drop over to the category field. And then we're going to add the business unit description field. So just business unit description. So now I've built in that same level that we had before. Now, we could leave it there, but we can do better. Oh no, we're going to do better. We're going to take this one level deeper where we actually look at the accounts as well. So navigate up to the account table and let's find that dimension for the account, the object account and the description. So we're going to find object account and description. I'm going to drag that right underneath business unit. So now I can get really down to the nitty gritty of where those numbers come from. So that's going to be how we analyze the data or the dimensions. But now what is it that we're analyzing? Now this is a waterfall chart. So I told you we want to look at the variances. So what we're going to do is go to our fact table, the GL balances detail table, and we're going to go find that variance calculation. So go ahead and expand GL balances detail. We're going to go in the revenue folder, and I'm going to go down and find that revenue variance amount actual PY selected. And I'm just going to drag and drop that over to the Y axis. Now, because we're nice and we know we're going to give this to the user, they're going to want additional information. We can only chart one item, right? That's all we want to chart. But if I hover, I want to see more information. I want to know what's my variance percent. I want to know what was this year's number, what was last year's number. So I actually see that information. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those other items right in here. So I'm going to take that percent number and put it in here in the tooltips. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to find my revenue actual amount selected in prior year. And I'm going to add those to the tooltips as well. And I'm just using a drag and drop to add those to the tooltips. So now when I go hover over my visual, I see what is my variance, the variance percent, and then I see, well, what are the two numbers? So it might be a huge variance, but am I talking about 0 to 3,000? In this case, I'm at 360,000 to 356,000. So I can kind of see, is 3,000, is that a big deal or not so much? And it's, you know, just almost 1%. So maybe not such a big deal. Perfect. Now we are looking at our data here. If you click on your visual, Again, I've got my different regions. So I've got Central, I've got the West, I've got the Northeast, I've got the East. So again, this is the waterfall chart. The total variance is right here. And then I can see how does each region affect that? Is it adding to the variance or taking away from the variance with the increase or the decrease? The waterfall chart, it's automatically formatting so that we see an increase with a green, a decrease with a red. You can change those colors if you want. Now, one of the things we want to do with these reports is we want to make sure they have good titles that tell us what it is that we're looking at. So that is going to be in the format section of this visual. So again, with your format on the waterfall chart, go to the visualizations pane and go to the format section. So format your visual. Now this is the title. So this is actually here in the general section. So go ahead and choose general. And then you're going to see an option there for title. Just expand that section and we're going to change this and we're going to just call it revenue variance analysis. And I have a really hard time typing and talking at the same time. So